Alright guys, welcome back to Funny Facts, the YouTube channel that gives you useless knowledge you'll immediately text to your buddies at 1 a.m. while hiding in the bathroom from your kids. Today's topic, alcohol. Humanity's favorite way to forget bills, kids, and our slowly decaying bodies. And because we're classy here, we're not just talking about beer guts and tequila regrets, we're going global. Weird, funny, and sometimes straight up. Who the hell thought this was a good idea? Alcohol facts from around the world. So grab a drink, or if your wife's still mad about last weekend, grab a juice box. Let's go. Let's start in Scotland, because nothing screams, we hate our livers like the Scots. A brewery there once made a beer called Snake Venom, which has 67.5% alcohol. Yes, 67.5. That's not beer, that's basically liquid regret in a fancy bottle. It's stronger than whiskey. And here's the kicker, they served it in tiny little bottles with a warning label, as if anyone drinking a beer called Snake Venom is the type to read labels. Imagine explaining that hangover to your kids. Daddy, why can't you play catch? Because Timmy, Daddy's soul tried to escape his body last night and is currently negotiating custody with death. In Russia, the word vodka literally means little water, which is adorable until you realize Russians drink it like it actually is water. Historically, vodka was used for everything, medicine, disinfectant, even payment. Can you imagine getting your paycheck in vodka bottles? Congratulations, you worked overtime. Here's 3 liters. Don't spend it all in one night. And the Russian guy's like, too late. Meanwhile, here we are stressing about 401 Burmese shots while somewhere in Moscow, a plumber is like, relax, I've invested heavily in Smirnoff. Let's talk tequila. Everyone's got that one friend who swears the worm in the bottle gets you extra drunk. Spoiler, it doesn't. Most tequila doesn't even have a worm. That whole thing started as a marketing stunt in Mexico in the 1940s to make tourists think the booze was more authentic. So yeah, all those times you swallowed the worm to prove you're a man, you basically fell for the world's longest running tequila prank. Somewhere in Mexico, there's a guy laughing his ass off. See, another gringo ate it. That's number 74 this week. America tried banning alcohol in the 1920s, and shocker, it backfired harder than your uncle's homemade fireworks. People just started making their own booze, often in bathtubs. Which sounds romantic until you realize you're literally drinking soap water with a splash of blindness. Some bootleggers made so much money they became celebrities. Meanwhile, regular dads were stuck sneaking sips of medicinal whiskey from shady doctors. Honestly, I'd rather explain to my kids why I'm drunk than why daddy's in the ER because he tried bathtub gin and now can't see SpongeBob anymore. Some historians argue beer literally created civilization. Early humans supposedly settled down and started farming wheat not for bread, but for beer. Which makes sense. Bread fills you up, beer makes you dance badly and text your ex. So yeah, without beer, humanity might never have invented cities, or taxes, or hangovers. Which means every time you crack open a cold one, you're actually honoring your ancestors. Cheers, Grandpa, thanks for giving me this genetic addiction. Absinthe has this reputation for making people hallucinate, like it's some kind of magical green fairy that'll make you see dragons in your living room. Reality check, it doesn't. The hallucination myth was mostly French propaganda in the early 1900s to ban the stuff because wine producers felt threatened. So yeah, turns out people weren't seeing demons because of absinthe. They were just French and sad. A man in Scotland once reportedly had a hangover that lasted 4 weeks. That's not a hangover, that's a lifestyle. Doctors said his body basically went into shock after 60 pints of beer in one session. Imagine explaining that to your boss. Sorry, can't come in, still hungover. For 1 month. Yeah, Karen, my head is basically a drum solo by Metallica. The Czech Republic drinks more beer per capita than any other country in the world. The average Czech downs about 140 liters a year. That's like 280 pints per person, including grandmas and toddlers, statistically speaking. Meanwhile, in America, we brag about finishing a 6-pack. The Czechs would call that breakfast juice. Champagne was originally called the wine of kings, But today, it's mostly known for being sprayed by athletes who don't actually drink it. Which is insane when you think about it. A bottle costs like $300, and these guys just shake it up and waste it. Meanwhile, I'm at home refilling my kid's Capri Sun pouch with boxed wine like some kind of broke alchemist. It's not just humans. In Africa, elephants are known to get wasted by eating fermented marula fruit. And apparently, they go full-on drunk elephant mode, stumbling, knocking over trees, trumpeting like frat boys at 3 a.m., which is both adorable and terrifying. Imagine explaining to your insurance why your car got totaled. Yeah, so, an elephant was hammered. Fun fact, almost every US president loved booze. George Washington ran the largest whiskey distillery in America. Thomas Jefferson had a wine obsession. And Ulysses S. Grant? The dude basically drank whiskey like it was morning coffee. So yeah, the founding fathers weren't exactly sober philosophers, they were tipsy farmers writing history while trying not to puke on the Constitution. In Australia, there's a law that says you can't drink more than 4 liters of cask wine per day. Which means the government literally had to sit down and say, alright, mates, 5 liters is too much, but 4. That's fine. Somewhere, an Australian dad is like, challenge accepted. So, what did we learn today? Beer basically built society. Vodka is little water, which explains Russia. Tequila worms are the longest running joke in history. And elephants are just like us, except cuter and with tusks. Alcohol has been making humans and animals stupid for thousands of years. And honestly, that's kind of beautiful. So next time you crack open a drink, raise a toast to the Scots who invented liver failure, the Russians who call it water, and the elephants who party harder than you ever could. And hey, if you laughed at least once in this video, do the responsible thing. Hit subscribe, share this with your fellow exhausted dads, and tell them, here's something you can watch instead of silently crying in the Home Depot parking lot. Alright guys, this was Funny Facts. Now go forth, drink responsibly or irresponsibly, I'm not your dad. Wait, I am someone's dad. Damn. See you in the next one.